Secure Radio, and today we got a great guest. The name is Amy Swenson, who is going to be a pilot and going through flying school right now. Amy, I'm going to ask you this question. There's not too many females or women flying out there. Why is that?
I don't know why, because it's such a great job. It's such a fun job. And I think it's been male dominated for so long. And I think it's time that more women get into it because it's so much fun and you get to travel. And my flight school is really encouraging. There's a whole bunch of young girls and women that are training as well. So it's making it really fun to train there.
Okay. So tell us, in your class, if it's out of 10, how many girls are in it?
I'd say it's maybe 3 girls to 7 guys.
Oh,
big,
yeah,
big look at us. Yeah, I bet it's like a 70-30 right now.
7. Yeah, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you think it's because of fear of the altitude or just women are not interested? Because in reality, when you see the commercial airline, there's more flight attendant females than male, right?
Yeah.
And the other way around is the percentage is higher on the men's side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just been that way for so long. I mean, you look at nurses in a hospital and it's primarily women. I think that more women are starting to feel like they can go into a man's world and perform just as well, if not better. But I think it's really cool.
Okay. Now, we're going to move into another question. This time it's going to regarding the cargos. And we know that there's a giant airplanes out there who they don't transport human, they transport package and stuff. Can you school us about what cargo mean first, and what does a cargo pilots do? Talking to UPS, I see US UPS airline, I see Federal Express, I see a lot of different airplane out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so cargo is a little bit different, and like you said, they carry boxes instead of passengers. So it's a little bit different of a lifestyle. They primarily do night flying. A lot of my friends who do work at for cargo companies, their schedules are a little bit different than the airline pilots. They typically work about like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and most of the flights are at night. So it's just a little bit different of a lifestyle from a pilot standpoint. But it's just basically working with boxes in the back instead of passengers.
Mm-hmm. And do you guys have to do training for cargo also, or all that is included in same package?
No, so it works a little bit different in the airlines or in any sort of a professional pilot job. But each company that you go to, they train you specifically for one aircraft. So if you get assigned the 747 in training, you will only fly the 747. Or if you get assigned a Airbus 320, you are only working on the Airbus 320. So you learn everything there is to know about flying your specific aircraft. So each company does their own certification and training of the way they run things, because each airline is a little bit different. So, if you were at FedEx training, you will learn everything about FedEx. If you were at Delta, you will learn everything about Delta. So it's very specific, because each airplane, the way it's flown, is very different. So they want to make sure that you are trained specifically in your own aircraft.
Okay. So is that applied to a private airline to 6-seat, 12 seats? The trainings are the difference, right? It depends upon the size of the plane?
Yeah, each airplane, if you want to go get certified in a different airplane, that would be a different type of training. So once you already have your certificates, it doesn't take too long. Like, the training isn't too expensive because you know how to fly. It's just specific to a different aircraft.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned a 747, beautiful airplane to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then
yeah.
320, they take 800. The record on Airbus is 800 passengers, right?
Not on a 320. I don't think the 320 carries that many people.
380.
Oh, it's 380. Yeah, they carry a lot of people. I'm not sure exactly how much.
380 is 800 people. Yeah.
800.
So,
okay, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how many, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, Airbus 380. I've done one of them. It's like a moving house.
Yeah, they're huge.
So you're training, when you finish, you will not be able to pilot the 747, right?
No, not quite. Someday, but not quite.
So you have to get additional training to be able to do a 747.
Yes, correct.
All right. Now, you mentioned it, 747 and Airbus 380 and 320 and 380. A very different airplane. The Airbus are Europeans, and then the Boeing, the 747 American. Is a difference there in training because of the European affiliation and an American one?
I'm not exactly sure. I just know that whenever you switch airplanes, you just have to get additional training. So I don't think it really matters where the airplane came from. It's all, you will be able to understand it with training. Nothing is like drastically different, but it's just with every airplane you do need different training, just because there are some differences and they have different configurations. They have different speeds. They go different speeds. They go different altitudes. So you just need this specific training to that specific aircraft. Just because you have, it's millions of dollars in aircraft and countless lives in the back. So it's important to get that specific training to each airplane.
Okay. So let's go into the military a little bit. I have a great admiration for the C-5, the C-17, the F-16. Now we have the stealth bomber, and then we have now the F-35. Do you have any knowledge in those warplanes?
Not really. I've seen them take off from the airport, but other than that, I don't really have any knowledge on them.
Okay. Now, would a retired military pilot fly civilian? Would be okay?
I have worked with a lot of former military as a flight attendant. A lot of them come to the airlines once they are retired. So they just get hired on just like any other pilot. They still have the same certificates and everything. So, they just come and work for the airlines instead of the military. So, that's definitely possible.
Mm-hmm. Now, last time I was at the private airport, first of all, what I noticed, they don't have the same gate. The private airport beside the commercial And
Mhm.
the second, I noticed there's a little bit more of freedom with the private company. They
Yeah.
land, no control. They walk in, they pick up their bags. Do you think it should have more scrutiny also on private airline, like checking, security, or why is that? Why is it more relaxed on the private side than on the commercial side?
I'm not exactly sure the reasoning on it. I don't know. I feel like it's pretty safe as it is. I guess I'm not really educated on that, so I can't really say.
Okay. Um, okay. So now let's move into the side of you define a cargo for us. You define commercial, and what about the private? The size of airplanes. If you learn
Mhm.
one airplane, can you pilot any private airplane?
No, because they're all a little bit different. They all they have different engines. They have different wing designs. They have a different configuration. Some might have landing gear that are retractable. Some might have landing gear that just stay down. The training has to be specific to that airplane because they all fly a little bit different. So once you get certified at like in one private jet, you can't just go hop in any old private jet. You have to have instruction with it.
Hmm. Now, can you go beyond the 1,000 hours who are asking for you to do? Can you go more past that if you have an opportunity to train more? Would you
Yeah,
do
of
more
course.
training?
Yeah, you can do like kind of right now with the state of the industry the way it is with COVID and everything. All of the airlines have stopped hiring, but that doesn't mean the people who already have the 1,000 or 1,500 hours are not flying. It's always beneficial to have more hours. So if for some reason in 2 years when I'm planning to go onto the airlines, they still aren't hiring or something is happening, I can for sure just keep flying and gaining those hours. It never hurts.
Mm. Now you mentioned the big kahuna, the COVID.
Yeah.
COVID has affected all of us, and
hmm
how have COVID affected a flying school?
They've definitely taken more precautions with the masks and the more intense cleaning and the just sanitizing more like the airplanes and everything like that on the inside. But for the flying part, for me, it hasn't changed very much. I'm still flying as much as I was pre-COVID. Um, yeah, it hasn't changed much for me. I know there was a period where the flight schools did close down for a short period of time, but it never really affected me in my flight training. But I think most everything is open and flying now. The airport is busy, at least on the flight training side, not so much the airline side. But yeah, it's definitely affected a lot.
Um, so, what do you think would COVID affect the future of airlines industry? Because not too many people are flying. People are scared of flying.
Yeah. I think the airlines are doing all that they can to protect the company and to protect the employees. I know furloughing is like the last thing that the companies want to do, but at the end of the day, it's something that they might have to do. And some companies have already sent out the letters saying that they are going to be furloughing. But yeah, it's just kind of an uncertain time, but I think we're all hoping that it picks up sooner rather than later. But I mean, with the safety of everything, there's kind of no way to say like, oh, it's going to be back on this date. I think it'll just be like when people